Welcome! Today we're diving into Psalm 78. Now this one is pretty special. It's known as a Maschil, which basically means it's a psalm specifically designed to teach us something, a powerful lesson that was absolutely meant to be passed down from one generation to the next. In this devotional from the UNFIJ in Jesus team, we're going to explore what this psalm teaches us about our own place in this incredible unbroken chain of faith.
So here's our roadmap. We're going to start with the Psalm's powerful command to keep this chain of faith going. Then we'll look at the tragic story of what happens when a generation forgets and see the unbelievable divine power they just ignored. We'll dig into the heart of their repeating problem, see how God provided a shepherd in response, and then we'll bring it all home and figure out what it means for us to be a strong link in that chain today.
All right, so the psalm opens with some serious weight. This isn't just a friendly suggestion, it's a foundational command for God's people. It's a big deal.
Did you catch the language the psalmist uses right there? A parable? Dark sayings of old? That's our clue that we're not just reading some simple bedtime story. No, this is a history lesson, and it's absolutely packed with deeper spiritual truths designed to be thought about, wrestled with, and then passed on. And right here, the purpose is made crystal clear. Faith, it's a legacy. It's a solemn duty for every single generation to intentionally, deliberately teach the next one about God's power, His praises, and all the incredible things He has done. This isn't supposed to be a private affair. It's a story that absolutely must be told.
So what happens when that chain is broken? Well, the psalmist doesn't leave us guessing. He gives us this powerful negative example to show us exactly why this command is so critical.
Wow, this just lays out the stakes, doesn't it? On the left, you see the goal, a generation that hopes in God, that remembers what He's done and follows His commands. But then look at the right, the tragic result of forgetting, a stubborn, rebellious generation. You see, their hearts and spirits weren't right with God. The problem was deep inside. The psalm even gives us a specific case study, the tribe of Ephraim. Now get this, they were fully equipped for war, armed to the teeth, but they turned and ran in battle. Why? The reason given isn't about their military strength, it was a spiritual failure. They forgot God's works, they forgot His covenant, and because of that, all their human strength was totally useless. So what exactly did they forget? I mean, it must have been some pretty big stuff, right? Oh, you have no idea. The psalm goes on to list some of the most incredible miracles in history, the very wonders they were commanded to remember.
Just try to imagine this for a second. God didn't just push some water around, He split the Red Sea. He made the water stand up like walls on either side. This was a foundational moment of their salvation, a supernatural display of power right in the backyard of their enemy, Egypt. And His power didn't stop there. Out in the middle of a barren wasteland, when they were dying of thirst, God literally split open rocks and brought forth rivers. It's the stunning picture of His provision. And you know, the Apostle Paul later explains that it all points to a deeper truth, that Jesus Christ is the true spiritual rock who gives us living water. So they saw these world-changing miracles with their own eyes. You'd think that would be enough, right? But how did they respond? Well, this is where we really see the heart of the problem, this tragic, repeating cycle of unfaithfulness. This slide just lays out the stubborn pattern. God performs a miracle, but instead of being grateful, the people complain and demand more. So God's judgment follows. And then only in their fear, they offer this shallow repentance, just seeking Him to stop the pain. And then amazingly, God shows mercy and forgives, only for the whole cycle to start all over. The contrast here is just staggering. On one side, you have their repentance, which was just flattery and lies. It was words from their mouths, but their hearts weren't in it at all. Yet in response, God is described as being full of compassion. He kept forgiving them. He held back His anger because He remembered their weakness, that they were but flesh. After this long, painful history of failure and faithlessness, you might think God would just give up. But the psalmist shows us that He did not. Instead, He stepped in with a sovereign plan to restore His people. A huge shift happens here. God rejected the unfaithful leadership up in the northern tribes, specifically Ephraim, and even abandoned His own dwelling place at Shiloh because of their constant sin. So in place of what was rejected, God made a new, sovereign choice. He chose the tribe of Judah and Mount Zion, Jerusalem, as the new center for His people. And this was a deliberate act, setting the stage for the Messiah, who the book of Hebrews tells us would come from this very tribe. And God's ultimate answer to all the chaos wasn't just a place, it was a person, a shepherd king.
He chose David, a humble shepherd, to lead his people. And the psalmist praises him for leading with a true heart and skillful hands, a beautiful picture of the perfect shepherd king who is still to come, Jesus Christ.
Okay, so after that long journey through Israel's history, what does it all mean for us? This is where we take this ancient message and apply it to our own lives and really understand our role as a link in this unbroken chain.
This is how we learn from their mistakes and become a faithful link. Number 1, set our hope in God, not in our own strength. Number 2, actively remember what He's done, especially the ultimate act of salvation at the cross. Number 3, let that remembrance lead us to grateful obedience. And finally, number 4, declare His praises and intentionally pass on the story of God's faithfulness to those who come after us.
We really hope this deep dive into Psalm 78 has been an encouragement to you. This devotional has been brought to you by the You Need Faith in Jesus team.
And that leaves us with this final, really important question. See, the chain of faith doesn't continue by accident. It continues when one person intentionally tells another. So the question for every one of us today is this: who will you share God's story with?